on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Want to welcome on in Speaker of the Tennessee House, Cameron Sexton, joining us. Of course, we've been covering throughout the day this morning and yesterday afternoon when this came down. Governor Lee now finally releasing this proclamation. And Monday, August 21st, we will be having a special session. And Cameron Sexton, Speaker of the Tennessee House, is joining us on the Newsmaker Hotline. And Mr. Speaker, no real surprise here, I don't think. I mean, were you expecting this? Did you know that this was going to come down?
Well, I appreciate being on. We have been working with the governor over the last couple of days to finalize the call and take a look at it and for us to be comfortable with what's in it and comfortable also with the wording so that other things can't get included in it. And so, yeah, I mean, we kind of seen the direction over the last 24, 48 hours.
Now, Jack Johnson was on this show about 3 weeks ago, and this is what he said about special session and red flag laws specifically.
Virtually 100% confident that we are not going to pass any type of a red flag law, ERPO, Extreme Risk Protection Order. The way I characterize it in my conversations with people, we are not going to pass any type of legislation that results in someone being dispossessed from their firearms, their liberty, their Second Amendment rights when they have not committed a crime. And there's already processes in place for when they do commit a crime. So,
I mean, I know that you've been on this show and others, and so has Jack Johnson. And basically, any possibility of a red flag law is not going to be passed. I mean, is there anything that's changed in your mind over the last several weeks that would be an update on your opinion?
No. I'm not going to support it. I'm pretty sure the Republican caucus is not going to support it. And I feel like when you get in the committee system, if you look at the committee that it gets into, I'm not sure it will get a motion in a second. So I'm not even sure how much traction it will get in committee.
One of the things, and I was talking about this earlier, where we had Republican State Senator Majority Leader Jack Johnson on a while back, and he did say that pretty much when you go into the special session, everybody knows what is going to be asked. Everybody knows what everybody's opinion is. And it's just almost like a formality once you get into the special session. Do you have any insight as to why, knowing how the Republicans feel about this, the governor would make it official and call for this special session?
Well, I mean, the governor's been very clear on the direction he wanted to go. What I will say is, this call has opened up other things that I think is important that we can do.
Yep.
And one of them is the emergency and voluntary commitment clause that needs some reworking to handle people who are imminent threats, maybe not an immediate threat. We also have, the 250,000 records in the background check system that came through the criminal court systems, as well as the mental health stuff coming through the criminal court system and civil court that's not in the database. And so we can fix that. That's going to take time because you're going to have to get a database up. It's going to take 12 to 18 months. If we wait till next year, we just delayed it another 12 months, and you're looking at 3 years. And I think we all agree that if you're a felon or adjudicated in court not to have a gun, that you should be able to go purchase one, and our database doesn't reflect that right now. So I think there are a lot of things that we can do, and I think this call allows us to do some things in the mental health area that will be very helpful to us long term.
Well, what I like, Speaker Sexton, is that there are things in here that are reflective of actual solutions to the problems of, for example, school shootings. I mean, you're going to talk about, and the governor called for this, mental health resources, school safety plans and policies. I think there's been a couple of things where we could improve upon. For example, and I know the releasing of the manifesto has been, discussed ad nauseum, but do you see that being discussed, releasing the manifesto and all of the affiliated documents coming up in this special session as it relates to the mental health resources or in any other category related to the school shooting at Covenant?
I mean, it could be. There's so many lawsuits there. I'm not sure exactly when that may happen. What I can tell you is, look, to your point, there are solutions in this that you cannot prevent everything, but you can try to limit it the best you can. And so in the case of the Covenant shooter, if we had a different emergency and voluntary commitment clause that was just not basically used for people who are suicidal, but also for people who are threats to society, that may have stopped her. We also know she was under doctor's care, and there's a duty to warn on statute, but it's vague, it's unclear, it doesn't tell you who to warn, and it's not sure that you warn on a general mass threat. So the call allows us to go in and change the duty to warn in the healthcare professionals, which she was under doctor's care. I'm sure she was making statements, which then would allow the duty to warn and law enforcement to go and interview her, which would have potentially solved the issue. We also are looking at defining what a general mass threat is. In the state of Tennessee, it has to be a specific threat, not a general threat. So we're looking at that to give law enforcement the tools. We also know that we don't have enough psychiatrists in the future, and so we can answer that call when we go in. We also know that the reimbursement rate for mental health doesn't promote providers to want to see mental health patients because the reimbursement's not high enough. We have in the call where we can fix that. So there's a lot of things that we can do that would help the Covenant situation that will also help us long-term, to your point.
You know what I love about this, Speaker Sexton, is there's a lot of nuts and bolts things in here that really will help the situation. My concern is that despite any progress that you have made or will make as it relates to, school safety plans and policies and fortifying schools and, trying to get SROs in every school in Tennessee and the mental health resources, all of that will be completely ignored by the media. And I feel like, with the governor doing this Monday, August 21st, what he's really doing is opening up the Republicans for the state of Tennessee to all kinds of harassment and ridicule because the red flag law that they desire is not going to happen. And so all of the progress that you will make in these other situations, it will not be covered because all they'll talk about, including the air quote Tennessee 3, as I like to say, the fraud squad, all they're going to talk about is the fact that you aren't talking about or willing to pass anything regarding red flag laws. Is that a concern to you?
No, not at all. I mean, look, the progressive left are so far left of average Tennesseans that they don't even know they're out of step with average Tennesseans. They think they're lined up with them. Let me tell you, the red flag law we're not going to pass. But if you're looking at their social media posts, guess what they're talking about? Their true intent was to regulate guns, to ban different things. And that's what they're complaining about. The call doesn't allow for anything to do with guns. And so that's what they're upset about. They're not even talking about red flag law. That's the funny thing is they're talking about that they don't get to take away someone's right to own a gun and so, or limit it or restrict it. And so, look, we're going to go in. I've talked to enough people, speakers across the country and been to a couple of meetings with other legislators. People are watching us to lead. And I know there's people out there who say you need to go in and gavel out. That's not leading. We can go in, we can solve some situations, we can improve on what we do, we can limit from something like Covenant happen again. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to lead. We're going to show the other red states and the other states what you can do and how you can go in to protect your Second Amendment rights, protect your freedom and liberty, and at the same time address concerns that are immediate concerns to our state and to our people, mental health and other things as well.
Are you concerned, last question, I appreciate you joining us at the last minute. Are you concerned about violence on August 21st?
I mean, we have concern, especially since last time they said they were so peaceful when they were inside the Capitol, which they were not. But we got protocols in. We've been talking, and we're doing some things differently, and so we'll be prepared. We're gonna. I'm not going to release everything that we're doing, but that is the thing. But let me say this: you can't be worried. I know people are like, "Oh, it's going to be too crazy. It's going to be dangerous, and we just need to go home." You cannot let these individuals cause chaos, intimidate, bully you, and scare you into doing nothing. At the end of the day, some of the left wants Tennessee to do nothing. That's a victory. That allows them to keep promoting in the media, keep promoting themselves, keep railing on Tennessee. You can't allow someone to bully you and not to do anything. And so hopefully that people will see that we need to go in and accomplish stuff and do it the right way and show other states how to lead. But you cannot sit there and let someone intimidate you and bully you and not doing something.
Well, and I think, as I'll say as we wrap this up, I think that when you go in for the special session, will see their bad behavior, and then will come out, as in Republicans in the state of Tennessee, will come out with solid solutions and answers to the problems that we face regarding mental health resources, school safety plans and policies, and so forth. And you'll come out with solutions to these problems. It will go virtually ignored by the mainstream media, but as long as Republicans in the state know, and perhaps, those that are more center-minded and have an open mind will understand that what you folks are bringing to the table will help to prevent these kinds of shootings in the future. So I think, at least for me, I wish you the best of luck on August 21st. I know that myself and everyone else is going to be watching, and appreciate you joining us here on Nashville's Morning News.
Thank you. Thank you very much.